Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Bill Burr. It's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. Just checking in on you. Just checking to see how your week's going. You know, who's kidding who, doing an extra half hour, making some ad read money. And usually I just sit here running my yap, talking to myself. But lately I've had a whole bunch of guests. And this guy here is at the tippy top here, the Johnny Walker Blue of sketch comedy actors, the one and only Bruce McCullough, who has the return of his off-Broadway show, Tales of Bravery and Stupidity, at the Soho Playhouse in New York City, October 14th through the 29th. Welcome, Bruce McCullough.
Bill Burr, one of my friends, and I can say comedy heroes. It's so nice to be with you.
I know. I haven't seen you in forever. First
Yes.
of all, how great was that intro? I mean, I sound like a friggin' professional there.
You are a professional. You are reading, for folks who are listening to this, and I don't know, there's not many. He is reading from a teleprompter. It's kind of sad. And you know what happens with old guys? He's got a little white stuff in the corner of his mouth, which I think.
Know.
Yeah,
no,
which
it's a whisker. It's a whisker.
Okay.
Did somebody tell you this was going to be a video podcast so you could hide behind that windscreen the entire time?
Yeah. No, that's for your sound. Is this video? So I'll take this off.
That sounds
look at
there's the moneymaker.
Check. I just didn't want you to know I'm wearing a wig. As we know, I have a William Shatner wig.
No, you don't. You have
no
full hair.
On
this podcast.
Thank you. On this podcast. Thank you.
Dude, I miss you, man. We did years and years ago. We did we worked on something, and I feel like I've seen you twice since then.
Yeah.
And I'm so thrilled, you know, the new Kids in the Hall movie, and now you got your Broadway play. If I was back there, I would definitely go to the show.
You would have an excuse to not have to go to the show. I get it. But you should tell people what we did, because I remember when I saw the last time I saw you was at Festival Supreme. And then you started phoning me and going, dude, I don't think you used the word triggered, because you're too cool for that. But you went, I'm triggered again thinking about it. Because Bill and I helped write and direct. I didn't direct. I helped write and produce a pilot for Comedy Central, I guess 10 years ago now, if not more.
Longer than that. It's like 12 years ago.
Yeah, with him and Kevin Hart. And it was about their true friendship. And my God, it was good. And it's like, if that one's not going to go, and I think it was a money thing that, you know, probably not Bill's people, but probably.
I don't know. Oh,
Kevin's
is that what
people.
it was?
I think that's what it was. Because he was just blowing up there. Remember when he used to bring a knapsack filled with money that he'd get on the road, which I'm sure you've got a knapsack now with your own.
I actually don't remember that. I just remembered that he would. The reason why the show was going to work, I felt, was because we were complete opposites. Where I would just show up in my Prius, and he would show up in like a Hummer with 10 of his friends hanging around the set and everything. We were complete opposites. We were basically playing exaggerated versions of ourselves.
Right.
And then we started off happy, and it was going to get darker with our drinking issues and all of that type of stuff. But we never got that far. And you were directing it. And
I didn't direct it. I produced it.
Oh, see, I didn't. Yeah. I thought you were directing that.
Yeah.
I just remember you came out one time and gave direction and made me laugh my ass off. You did it like you were imitating a director being an asshole. And me and Evans just started laughing. And I just said to him, I go, dude, if this gets picked up, how much fun is this going to be?
Aw, yeah.
And what happened? It went right into the shitter.
Yeah. But a funny story from that show. It's not about you, so you won't mind me telling it. I remember because, you know, Kevin Hart's great, but sometimes a little bit late, just a little tiny bit late. He came really late to a writer's session that was at my house for some reason. I didn't know I had that amount of power. And he wrote on an index card, I, Kevin Hart, promised not, because he had been drinking, to drink for 24 hours. And then he crossed it out and went.
That.
And then he crossed it out and went 23 hours. Which I thought was so funny. But here we are.
It's not like he came in like blasted or anything. He was, dude, that guy was like 27 years old making movies and stuff. So he had clubs to go to at night. I don't fault that.
Yeah. I think they invented bottle service for him at that time. I'm not saying anymore.
It was. I think that that's what it was. Yeah, but it was going to be a lot of fun, and I think this business realized it, so they were like, "No, we can't do that." You know what's funny? Right as I said it was going to be a lot of fun, and they took it away. You literally went like this, like you were imitating hanging yourself.
I almost hung myself with my I don't want to say it $300 scarf. Who am I? Whatever, 300 on a scarf. Oh my God. Yeah, it's gone. It's already. I've already gifted.
It was a lifetime achievement award for.
Yeah, that's what they give in Canada. They give you in theater here. They give you scarves because.
Hey, what part of Canada are you from? Are you Toronto? Where are you?
Oh God, no! I'm from Alberta. Where?
Oh, God, you're an animal.
Oh, I'm an animal. I was born in Edmonton. You won't even.
Oh, that's a little cut above.
A little cut.
The cattle's down south. The oil men are up top. I get it.
Let me show you I guess you can't really
wine
see
and
it.
Cheese crowd.
There's a scar from a knife fight I had in the Calgarian Hotel when I was 19 years old. So I was through the wars as a young man.
Wait, a knife? Like you had a knife too, where this guy pulled a knife?
No, a guy actually cut me with a knife. There was a phase, Bill, and you probably remember this, where guys would have cowboy hats, but they'd have little feathers on the front of them. Like little, I don't know what they were. And I guess it kind of had pissed me off. So I decided to take his little feather off.
Oh, you don't do that.
You don't take a man's feather off his cowboy hat. So that's what happened. And I was so hardcore.
No, slow down. So what? You're in this bar.
Yeah.
All 5'4" of you, right?
Well, I tower in at 5'6", but correct.
5'6", and you walk up to John Wayne looking guy in Alberta, which for those Americans, that's like the Texas of Canada as far as cattle, oil. Go fuck yourself, be a man, let's get a gun and that type of shit. So you go in there, coming from a sketch class, and decide, you know what, I'm gonna improv with this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a ball by taking his feather out of his hat.
and see what he does. And of course, Bill, as you know, I was wearing nurse shoes at the time, which is what I often wore. That was my go-to for my drinking shoes because they were so comfortable and they were so punk to me.
What is your deal, dude? How did you grow up in that place so friggin' macho and like that is not your vibe at all? So you grew up out there and everybody's fucking punching cattle and drilling oil and flattening the mountains, and you're doing what? Reading Jack Kerouac? And
I was reading Jack Kerouac. And listening to, it was probably not even punk. Yeah, I guess it was punk music by then because I was 18, so that was 77. So I grew up in reaction to the place that I was. I'd wear pink shirts, and men in trucks would chase me down the street to beat me up and scream. You know what word they screamed at me? And not hero.
They didn't faggot at you. I mean,
that's what they would scream.
Say what they called you. You just don't call somebody that.
I guess that's correct.
At this point, you can literally get in trouble for saying the slur that was said to you.
Yes, that I came out from under, which is why when I wrote Running F Word, as we like to call it now, on the show, it was like, oh no, gay men are heroes. We're heroes folk heroes for living through what people in Alberta and people in Toronto put them through.
So what, you just decided that you were just gonna what gave you the strength that how irritated were you by the I mean, it's a pretty testosterone place, Alberta. At what point was it just for the sheer it's like a stand-up comedian, you go up and you're just like, all right, these people are into this, so I'm going to make fun of this. This is their home team. I'm going to make fun of their home team. Was it just simply like that, or had something else happened? What happened to you before the pink shirt is what I want to know.
Well, not to be too serious, I come from a pretty rotten childhood. My dad was a boozer and a salesman. He was good at being a boozer and not good at being a salesman. My mom left, Bill, when I was 7 years old. I wasn't allowed to have a picture of her or talk to her. I didn't talk to her for 2 years. And so,
a country song.
Yeah. And then my stepmom, Connie, who I'd often say, you're not Francis? My real mom. What's that?
Francis?
I wish. Oh my God. Now you made me think of Connie Francis. And they were boozers. So and I had the house that you couldn't bring people home because my dog Binky would have attacked my dad. My mom might be asleep on the stairs, Connie, from having drunk her Hudson's Bay rye since 8 a.m. And so I found basically first it was Blue Oyster Cult, punk music, and then it was punk music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I fought.
It just that amazes me that like you're just like the nicest, soft-spoken person. You must be a terror on set. No, you get into like a knife fight and all of this stuff. So like, did you get tired of getting your ass kicked? Did you enjoy it? Did you fight back?
Oh no, no, I wasn't as good. And there's an actor that you may know, Callum Keith Rennie. He was in what's that show he was in? Oh well, look him up. We went to high school together, and he's become quite a good actor. He was in Californication and a few things. We would fight together. He was a good fighter. I was good at just bleeding, quite honestly.
Oh, you were the hype man.
Yeah, I was the hype man. But I started going. I had friends who had moved out to Toronto, and I started going to Toronto where there was people like me, right? And there was music, and and the Buzzcocks played, and the Damned played, and I wanted to get to Toronto as soon as possible. And when we had a show in Calgary that became successful when I started doing comedy, I wanted to go to Toronto right away. And it wasn't for the comedy, it was for the music.
That's amazing. So where did you meet? Well, first of all, how did you get from Alberta to Toronto? Did you have any money to just fly out there? Did you get in a piece of shit car and drive across? What are you, Saskatchewan?
Well, a few things. I worked loading trucks and driving truck for Canada Dry. And what you could do in the old days was you'd go out to your boss and you go, can you put me on compensation for a while? Because I want to leave town. And they'd say, sure. That was because that's the old, like the warehouse thing. So I kept getting these beautiful gold and Canadian checks for 2 weeks. And then the other thing is we had worked at a really great theater, which did theater sports, which is competitive improv comedy. And so we started doing our show after the theater sports show, and then we started attracting an audience.
And by we, you talking about the guys who eventually became Kids in the Hall, or just your friends?
A bunch of people, but you might know the name Mark McKinney was the one guy. Yeah. And so we started selling we started selling out this show at 11 at night. And then when we left town, and nobody got paid for theater sports, and they still don't, same with UCB, they said, hey, you guys have been great. We've added up all the money that you made, and we're giving you, they gave us each $4,200 because we've been working there like for 2 years.
Unheard of.
And it's like, what? And so we had that money as well.
So then you flew.
Oh, we flew.
Yeah, we're not driving.
No. And I think a plane ticket then would have been $78 one way.
Did anybody who ever beat you up, you ever see him in the crowd when you were up there doing your thing at the improv sports?
No, but
just a different crowd.
No, but a sideways story. When I was 15, I went to see Kiss. Do you know the band Kiss? Bill?
I've heard of them.
Yeah. And they didn't even have a record out yet. And it was at a nurses cabaret at the U of Toronto, or sorry, U of Calgary. And
what is a nurses cabaret?
The nurses department at school puts on a cabaret, and anybody can go. So it's like $4.
Oh, I thought it was a bar where just nurses went to and drank.
I'd be there, wouldn't you, Bill? And I
to watch you lose a knife fight to a nurse wearing her shoes.
Hey, those are my shoes. Give them back, you bitch. So Gene Simmons, and we were making fun of Kiss because they were the silliest thing we'd ever seen in our life. And they had a little Kiss like thing that was aluminum, had like aluminum foil on it, like the big Kiss logo, but it was like 2 feet tall, sort of like the Spinal Tap joke. And we were making fun of them. And then we saw Gene Simmons get a blood pellet and go, and he spit his blood all out and stuff like that. And we're going, you're such a joke. You're such a stupid old man. And we were screaming at him. He came down with still playing his big bass and said, I'm going to fucking kill you, kid. And he did. And then
Wait, Gene Simmons beat the shit out of you?
He didn't, but he came back for his revenge. 30 years at least later.
But if this was the 70s, he was like a
Well, anybody
20s.
who's a year older than you
Is old.
is old. But
he was too old for dress up.
Yeah, I think so. And then like 35 years later, I look up when I'm living in LA on my at my long driveway, and getting out of a black SUV is Gene Simmons. And so it's like, okay, he's here to beat the shit out of me. It just took him a long time.
No.
He wasn't, though. He was, I think he had a son or something that was in a house near me or something like that. So that's
like,
that's
wow, man, that's like some Sicilian shit if he came back that later.
I should have said to him, okay, I know why you're here. But I didn't.
That's hilarious that you were like heckling them. It's also amazing that they had that little sign and that everybody's laughing at it, but that was their dream, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
And we didn't know that they were going to be so good. And then I actually saw them a couple years later with Cheap Trick, and they were pretty fantastic. They were actually a pretty I don't listen to them now, but they actually were a pretty good rock band.
Not bad for a bunch of old men. You finally gave it up.
Yeah.
It feels like the end of the episode where you just sort of uncross your arms.
Yeah. But maybe, the people from the network want you to do one of these. Thumbs up.
All right. So then you go to Toronto. All right. And then you went there for the music. Did you play? Because I remember in like your sketches and stuff, there was a lot of guitar playing and stuff would come up a lot. I remember you singing, the Fuck the Bank. I don't remember. Did you ever play guitar? Fuck the Bank was one of my favorite ones ever.
Oh, thank you. I play a little guitar. I dabble. I have a Fender Mustang for you guitar aficionados out there. And I have a Beatle bass, the Paul McCartney Beatle bass that my dad played, because he was not just a drunk and a salesman. He was also played bass in bands.
Oh, he was a jack of all trades.
He was a jack of all trades, but mostly a boozer, Bill.
What I find with your dad is he likes to pick jobs where it's easy to get drunk. Salesman, bass player.
Yeah. But I always say that he died 30 years sober. They threw him off a reservation in Galician, Alberta, for being too drunk, and that was his low point. And then he didn't drink again.
Wow.
What a happy story.
No,
it's okay, Bill. You got no business.
No, that's
it's just you and me.
No, you have like movies. There's like 3 movies in all of this.
So you wonder why I was such a little punk, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, but I didn't know that you went out of your way to get your ass kicked. I mean, I didn't even do that. I mean, I was a wise ass, but when first time I got my ass kicked, I was like, all right, I'm going to stick to the jokes.
Well, but the truth is, because I really thought society is fucked. All you people are fucked. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that there was people like you out there, or the people that I had 2 friends, or maybe 4 friends. 2 were in the Shadowy Men from a Shadowy Planet, which was our band, the Kids in the Hall band, and 2 other guys. And that was it. No other friends. And then everybody else was stupid. And that was, the old days when it's like, if you weren't a jock and you didn't, well, I did some drugs, but you weren't a rich kid. What were you? You were like us, these weirdos. And
right.
So, but and of course, those are the old days before the internet, Bill, and weirdos can't find each other, right? As they can now, which is the beautiful thing about the internet.
Well, they always found each other in cities. You just go to the art, whatever the hippies, the art people were. That's where you would find the fellow weirdos. Yeah. It is interesting. I always like that about cities. And then like people who are business minded, they just look for the glass towers. They go there, or the steakhouses or something. And then meatheads like me, like, you got a sports arena? Do you have a bar with a bunch of sports logo things? And then you just kind of find like your group. That's why I feel like living in a city in as much as there's violence and crime and that type of shit, it's easier to find the group of weirdos that you associate with. But it is kind of funny that like people that are into sports aren't, that just for some reason became like this mainstream, like that was somehow cool. You didn't play them. You just were like if you go to a sports bar and you just look at guys and all these animals, it's like these fucking, no one here could run the block without doubling over, wheezing, and they know everything about sports. Some comedian did a great bit saying, was comparing Star Wars freaks to sports fans and just made all of these parallels of like knowing the names and dressing up like, you dress up like the character, you dress up like the player. And I was just sitting there wanting to be like, this isn't right. And I listened to it. I was like, yeah, that's kind of 100% right.
Well, it's also, and I actually remarked this to one of my friends the other day. It was like, because there was a Jays game. It's like, why would you put the name of somebody else on your back? Or would you get a shirt that said Burr on the back? Like you're going to get a.
That's actually worse.
Yeah,
I would rather appear as a professional player's boyfriend than to actually never make it in the league and have my own name on the back. I did it one time when I got to throw out the first pitch at Boston, but it made sense because they put Burr in 22, like the year that I did it. So when I'm an old man, be like, I did things way back in 22.
I heard that pitch bounce twice before it got to home plate. Is that true?
Oh, dude, it bounced right up your fucking pink ass, right to the plate.
But you like that. You like to go to a sports bar and go, how can I cheer for people who don't give a fuck about who I am? Oh, here's the place.
Yeah, there's, what happened? Sports kind of like everything kind of got like overexposed. And it used to just be like, it was like football. It was on once a week, and they had a little half-hour show beforehand on this little sting, and then there was Jimmy the Greek, and he was giving you, the odds on who to bet on. Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, and it was a Jackie Kennedy or something like that, Jane Kennedy. And that was the crew, and you just watched them, and then you just watched the game, and the game was over, and that was it. But there wasn't all of this talk and like, this fucking bullshit now with like, getting involved in players. Oh, this guy's getting a divorce, or this guy got a DUI and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know.
But it's sports radio is what did it. I couldn't believe, because I actually became a huge Jays
ESPN
fan.
too, 24 hours of that. And then have an ESPN 1, 2, 3 university. I mean, I love it that there's all those games on it, but like it became like MTV where they were like, well, we got to fill up all this time. We can't keep showing sports for whatever they thought that reason. And then they just started sitting around talking, and they fucking argue and just yell at each other. And it's just, every time I hear them yelling, it's just like, guys, you're in your 40s. Who gives a fuck?
I know. And I love the call-in shows too, because it's like someone would call in and like go on against Garth Org, who's only hitting 162, and he should be back to Syracuse. And I also love when the guys, of course, only guys, women are way too smart for this, aren't you, women? Oh, there's no women listening to this. They phone up and they'd go, so who's going to win the game tonight? It's like, who do you think is going to win the game tonight? Like, dude, we don't have no idea who's going to win the game.
I know.
The Blue Jays or the Milwaukee Brewers. So why are you asking?
No, then they got the fantasy things. The only reason why I like people that play fantasy football and baseball is it seems to be the best way now to know what's going on and know people's stats and everything. When I was a kid, they had like trading cards, and I didn't even realize that. Like, instead of looking at my multiplication tables, I would have been a whiz at math if I looked at those things as much as I looked at my football cards. I knew people's heights. I knew where they went to college. I knew their hometown. All of this stuff, what years they were all pro, if they went all pro last year, because I had all of that. And somewhere along the line, trading cards, because all of them from the 50s and 60s and 40s were worth so much money, it became an adult pursuit, and they pushed the kids out of it. And there was in early 2000s, I wanted to collect again, because I didn't know who the players were, because I was doing so much stand-up. And I went down to this hobby shop or whatever, if they still have those. And there was a bunch of guys, and it was down in New York near the financial districts. And there was these guys, like the Wall Street guys were down there. And I saw this guy, and he was just throwing away cards. He called them common cards. And those are basically ones that weren't going to be worth any money. And it was like totally an investment. And I was like, I was thinking like, why would you throw those cards? Can I have those cards? I would love those cards, right? And then I kind of looked around the store. And I was like, oh my God, it's all like, we were all like guys in like our 30s. And I was like, where are the kids? Like they should be like down here. I should look like some weirdo being here. And I guess now it's like fantasy football is kind of the way to do it.
Well, and so did you not buy any cards then? You said now.
Well, then what I hated, because I just wanted to like get the collection and look at it and get to know the players as like a studying tool, you know? And because all of these guys, just Christopher Walken there, these guys all of a sudden had all this money, they could just buy a complete set and they could buy numerous sets. So it was flooding the market with cards and driving the price down. So what they did was they deliberately made cards rare and hard to get. It's like the oil companies. They just stop producing oil and then the price of gas goes up and then whoever's president gets fucking blamed, right? So they were doing that with cards. And I was just, the whole thing was just like, man, this isn't the fun of what it used to be. You go and you buy packs and like you only need one more card and you're like, fuck, I just need one more card. And then you call up you at school, one of your friends had doubles of it. And then you'd have to give him like 3 cards that he needed. It was this whole, we used to have like trading card sessions. Like me and my siblings and the kids in the neighborhood, we would just go into somebody's house, bring all your cards, and you just broke out what you had.
I did that too.
Oh man, you got 3 Tony Dorsetts? What do you want for that? Nah, man, I love Tony Dorsett. You got to give me more than that. It was incredible. And it was like totally innocent. And then by 2000, it was guys like me fucking the whole thing up by trying to go in and buy a complete set.
Yeah. I remember that too. Got it, need it. Got it, need it. Like, yeah.
Checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it became like, don't write on the checklist.
I know. Oh, right. And
somehow the checklist became worth a lot of money because that was like, you could tell what card it was. I don't know. What does this have to do with the fact that you're doing off Broadway? Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have to get to the theater early so you can get into character? I know a lot of you actors do that stuff. And you have to.
I like to go as early as 30 minutes before the show.
I like that.
I'm not the person who goes there for 3 hours. I know some actors, real actors, who go mama, mummy. You walk into their dressing rooms, mummy. Who am I, mummy? No. I go. Yeah, I go with my winning spirit, Bill, which you've witnessed firsthand. You've worked with me, and
you're a man of the people. You're out and about with everybody. You have a couple of fucking pints.
I don't have pints, but I do go gracefully on stage and lay it down for the
people. Walk through a makeup mister before you go on there, just to kind of freshen you up.
And then I just say girdle, and then somebody from Nassau comes and gives me a girdle.
How long is the show?
It's 75 minutes, and lately I've been using you in my show.
No, you haven't.
I have. I do a thing. I talk about like, it's okay if you don't get one of my jokes, because if you don't get one of my jokes, it goes over your head and to the end of the universe and waits for me there, which I sort of love as just a weird thing. And then I go, and I love the low. And for some reason, one night I said, Bill Burr can handle the low. And they loved it. So every night I go, Bill Burr can't handle the low. And I think of you.
That's amazing. You know how cool that is? For me, just growing up being a fan of you, because I'm so much younger than you.
Oh, yeah, you're a child.
No, I'm not. But look at you.
Yeah.
You look like an old Superman.
I look like a ruined astronaut.
You look like you used to save Gotham or whatever. Oh, Gotham's Batman.
Yeah.
No, you do. You have that. You're too like nice and sweet to have led a life of politics and just seeing the underbelly. I feel like you're that guy that people just go, he really gets life.
Yeah.
He understands it.
Until they get to know me. No, they like me.
How old is your son now? He's got to be like, what, 18?
No, Otis turns 15 tomorrow. My daughter turns 18 next week. Yeah. But he's funny. He's funny. I know we can almost do it. Like, he's very funny. Up until I do a show called Tall Boys in Canada, which is a great sketch show. It's available in the U.S. now, but which went 3 seasons or 3 seasons so far. But before that, a lot of my shows only went 1 season. Like I did a show with my wife, Young Drunk Punk, and a few other things. And he called me Mr. One Season. Like, good morning, Mr. One Season.
I already told this story in the podcast, but I'll tell it again for you. My daughter came up to me one day and she goes, "Hey, Dad," she goes, "I know what your real name is." I go, "Oh yeah, what's my real name?" She kind of like pushed her face out. She goes, "It's Bill." And I go, "Oh, yeah." I go, "How do you know that?" She goes, "Because I hear mommy say that to you." I go, "All right." I go, "You want to know what my full legal name is? You want to know what it is?" And she goes, "What?" I go, "It's William Frederick Burr." She goes, "That's ridiculous." I go, "What?" And she just laughed. I go, "What? Why is it ridiculous?" She goes, "It's a ridiculous name," and laughed and just walked into the kitchen. And she still won't get off it. She keeps, but I think it's a word she learned at school because I asked her, I said, she came in the morning. She goes, "Dad, can I look at my tablet?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "That's ridiculous." And it just, every time she says it, I burst out laughing. So I think that she knows it's like a joke, but I don't think she knows how to like use the word. That's what I'm hoping. Or maybe I do have a ridiculous name. I don't know what, but
it's pretty ridiculous, Bill. I mean,
she's kind of getting in my head because she hasn't wavered. I'm waiting for her to be like, "No, Dad, I was just kidding." She said to me the other day, she goes, "Dad, you're fat." Right. And I go, "You think I'm fat?" She goes, "No, you're not fat." I go, "Okay, good." She goes, "No, you are fat." And she goes, "You need to go to the gym." And then she starts hitting my stomach and she's going like, "You need to go to the gym. You need to go to the gym. Hi ho the dairy." And she just started cracking up laughing. She's right too. I got a nice fucking double cheese sandwich here. I'm trying
Nia Center to do that to you.
I know. Yeah, Nia, Nia's about ready to trade me in on a younger model.
Yeah. Well, of course.
I had a ginger hair.
The last time I went to the doctor in LA, he said, "We got to talk about your end of life protocols." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he said, "Do you have any?" And I said, "Well, when I die, my wife Tracy, who you met many years ago, she can't remarry for 2 weeks." and he laughed, and then he wrote it down, which I think is fantastic. So
it is. Have you give him one last laugh?
Yeah, fortnight, guys. I know you're circling. So
I had a doctor recently go like, there's no good at your age. There's no good news from here on out, and it's just like, why would you say that? It's like, I know that, but why would you put me in that mindset? That's like being a coach. Like, there's no way we can win tonight.
Yeah.
At least we could keep it close. We could give the people a game.
Or you can only play this sport until you're 28. Even if you're really good. Why would a coach say that to a kid?
You know why? Because they grew up in Alberta.
Yeah.
The whole problem with the whole Northern Hemisphere all comes down to Alberta and Texas. Because these liberals, man, they're Did you ever think liberals would become such fucking psychos?
No, I didn't.
I mean, Jesus Christ, just so fucking intolerant and just have. I used to think I don't know where I am now. All I know is that if I go to Texas, hey, how's Joe Biden there? Let's go fucking rickety rackety, whatever they say. Let's go Bucky or whatever they say. And then when I'm out here, I'm like fucking counting the days until Trump comes back. I'm kind of where you were when you were young. I think I'm going to start saying society.
Yeah, society's no good. I like to go to a dinner party and say, especially when people don't know me, and go, "Well, Trump's got some good ideas."
Oh, that's fantastic!
And just to hear people like that, blah, blah, blah.
That's fantastic. I'm going to use that. I remember when we stayed at the Trump Hotel in Chicago, and there was people protesting outside, like the fucking guy was in there. You know what I mean? Like he actually has any attachment to that hotel other than loaning him. He's a brand. He's basically a socialite. So the same way like Kim Kardashian will loan her name to a brand, make some money. He does that with the hotels. He's not fucking in there. These dumbass liberals are out there fucking screaming and yelling. And we were going in, they were yelling at us. I'm like, I didn't vote for the guy. They go, fuck you. They're all screaming. So then the rest of the weekend, we would get out of the car and we would just say positive shit about Trump. You know? I just get out. I'll tell you about Donnie, man. I don't think he goes far enough. They'd be like, you fucking. And then we were drinking. I was still drinking at the time. We were behind glass. And I'm not going to say the other comic, but we knocked on the glass and we were going 4 more years. And just laughing the whole time, just being like, if they only knew that I voted for that crazy old the guy from Back to the Future there. Who was the guy? They wouldn't let him in every time.
But don't you remember, like, maybe in the 80s or 90 when you thought the world's just going to get cooler and
Bernie
cooler?
Sanders. That's what I voted for.
Bernie Sanders. But the world's just going to get more open. We're going to make discoveries. And then all of a sudden, like, what happened? We're not more liberal. Some people, I don't know what happened.
No, I think I think the internet happened. The internet happened, and it turned it into one giant townie bar, and then moron liberals and moron conservatives can now exchange ideas, and we've kind of created this thing now where you only listen to things that agree with you, and it makes you feel good, and like, yeah, like that. Like, I find CNN and Fox, other than like treasonous, they're hilarious to watch because they just sit there doing this the whole time. Like, I'll tell you, this country would be great if everybody had on a blue tie, and then the other one, everybody needs a red tie. It's like I don't know how many times the government can just turn their backs, like what they did, what they did in New Orleans, right? What they did in Mississippi, what they did in Alberta.
Yeah,
I didn't have another city. I'm just saying, like, how many fucking times can they just show you that you don't fucking matter?
Oh, and listen, we not to get serious here, people in America always think that Canada's really great and we really also take care of our First Nations people. We have the worst record. There is millions of people up north that do not have clean drinking water. And why don't they have drinking water? Like, every time anybody says anything, all I can say is, but why don't they have clean drinking water? Isn't that what everybody's been saying for 40 years? They need clean drinking water.
One of the things I open with when I do Canada, like, up here in Canada, I know you guys. You guys think you're the best white people. You're a cut above. And I go, there was people here before you got here. Where are they? Send them up north. Crying on a fucking canoe. And then I go into my act. This is not a weekend shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's a cigar place that treated me and Mike Bertolina and Kenny Fetter very nicely in Phoenix, Arizona. It's called.
He's wearing a fine ass
cross promoting
shirt. So please, if you're in the Phoenix region area, please go in.
Why do you have to do a show in New York when I'm not there?
I don't know. I'm going to tell a funny Bill Burr story.
I like how you answered that like that was a legit question. I don't know. I should have checked with you.
Yeah, I should have. I remember we played Boston, the Kids in the Hall, a little while ago. I think on our last tour, and we were little theater, small theater. I think it was like a 500 seater, and we did maybe 4 shows, and then we thought, oh, that's pretty good. We went clean, as we like to call it, for 4 shows. And then we looked, and after us was Bill Burr. I think you did 16.
Oh, at that, yeah. I did a run of shows. I'm from.
Yeah, I know, but still.
That's like you bringing your pink shirt one-man show back to Alberta. I mean, how many shows could you do? I mean, it would be endless.
There's still guys there who want to beat me up, so maybe they're going to take another.
Well, you know what? John Mulaney came and disintegrated my record. So he has the record. And I'll tell you, that fine young man, he can have it.
Yeah, you can.
That was quite the albatross around my neck.
Everybody talking about it all the time.
Everybody
down the streets.
Guys in sketch. Years later.
Are you still doing that edgy material?
I heard you were in that Chuckle Hut. 13 shows. Am I still doing edgy? Yeah, I pushed the envelope.
Yeah, it's wild.
I like to try to make people think. You know.
Oh my God, I remember.
Do you?
Yeah, do you? I didn't know. I haven't seen that. I
haven't felt that yet in this podcast.
No, you did one piece. It's like, I always think, it's like, how did he get away with this one? Which I don't know if you've ever thought that about my material, but it's like, where you talked about you can't talk to kids because you don't want them to think you're a pedophile. And then you go on to say that you think some of their parents sort of fatten up these kids so they won't be attractive to pedophiles.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you get away with
Cut the head off the snake.
That was my, oh, he didn't.
No, I just,
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't mean anything, if you're not being malicious,
Yeah. I mean,
you should hear my new chunk I'm doing on how not to get raped.
oh my God. And
Oh, Jesus.
oh, Jesus.
Just why would I? Yeah, why wouldn't you try to help people that could potentially happen to?
That's true.
Could
That's
happen
true.
to you too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm helping everybody with my comedy. See, most people just go out and they tell jokes, not me.
Yeah.
I try to go like have a PSA attached to every shit joke that I do. I'll do a shit joke and go, remember to get your colon checked. I think that's a scam, by the way. They just keep lowering the age. First, it was just like, you know, when you're 103, you should probably have a camera crew up your ass. Then it got dropped down to 70. It was like the speed limit. It just keeps going down and down there for a while. Now it's down to like 38. Next year, they're going to say, if you have an asshole, let us stick a camera up.
Now, is this
Y'all
a
want
new
yacht.
bit you're working on? Are you like fucking Scott Thompson? You're trying out your material on me?
How dare you? How dare you compare to that horrible man? I've worked with him numerous times. Jesus, just browbeating everyone in the green room. No, I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah. Well, I almost came to see you when you were in Toronto, but then I realized it was at night.
I think you're saying then I realized I had better things to do.
No. No, actually something came up.
I had some neo-punk band I had to go see down at the fucking the attic or whatever.
I had to go see the Vile Tones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who else? Were you like into REM?
Yeah.
REM. I'm trying to get your 80s playlist here.
That's a little soft for me, I think.
How about John Cougar and the Beaver Brown Band or whatever that fucking movie was called? Dark Side's nothing is real, you know, with your cowlick flipping around. You never did a cover of that in your band?
Yeah. No.
On the dark side.
No.
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh, Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was John something in the Beaver Brown Band.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It was John Cougar, and then John Cougar Mellencamp, and then John Mellencamp.
Yeah, I knew him when he was John Cougar. I got his first record when he was just John Cougar.
Oh, yeah? Did you guys hang around and make fun of Gene Simmons?
I wish. No.
Dude, I think that's what's missing from a John Cougar Mellencamp, Brody Stevens show is he should have a blood pellet in his mouth when he sings Little Pink Houses, and then it's pink pellet.
I love that. And
I actually, one of my favorite drummers of all time, Kenny Aronoff, played with him, and I specifically went to go see whatever he was going by then. John Mellencamp will say, I specifically went to go see him to see Kenny Aronoff, and Kenny did not disappoint. I had lawn seats at it was called Great Woods. You know, John Cougar came out, just fucking. I mean, the guy just has hit after hit after hit, and but I was the whole show. All they looked at was Kenny Aronoff bringing the hand up, slamming it down on the snare, and I was like, "That is a pro drummer, and that's what I'm gonna be." And then I started playing drums, and it didn't work out.
It's not as easy as it looks. It's not just doing it on your lap at a party, right, Bill?
You know, I thought I was grooving in the back of the station wagon, you know, but then when I actually sat down behind the kit, I had to put on my big boy pants. I kind of fell off the back of the stool. That's what happened.
Nice.
Do you always do this to people?
What?
You just sort of make them go through their sad memories, like sort of a little white.
Yeah.
Right
I'm kind of like a Willy Loman of comedy, where I take up my sad samples, and then you start showing me your sad samples. You know,
that's what it is. And then we all pick them up at the edge of infinity because we like saying that.
Yeah,
I like saying that.
But those jokes are waiting for me there. Don't you get that, Bill? That's about the circle of life. And I don't know why. I've worked with you. I've taught you everything I knew, but why can't you see that?
So what do you think what happens when you die? When you die, do you then go visit all your jokes that didn't work in Soho?
Yeah. I mean, and
they all hug you and be like, we were funny.
We were waiting for you, Bruce. We've always been here for you, Bruce, since the beginning of time till the end of time. No, I know that when I die, my wife remarries within after 2 weeks, but I also know that the opiates in my brain just stop working, and that's it. Oh, I did leave my body to science. This is a joke I'm going to do for you, Bill. But they're going to shoot it out of a cannon, apparently.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a very conservative thing to do. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a red state thing to do.
Yeah. And then
send your liberal body to a red state so they can shoot it over
the cannon. And I presume wild animals would eat it still, I guess. What was left.
Yeah, and you gotta be naked too, because you don't want to try to eat through your clothes.
God no.
You gotta give the clothes
you gotta be so
to the meth people.
Well, and of course I'm gonna die naked. That's just what I'm gonna do, Bill.
Oh, I'm done. My body's gonna be like a parts car where you just take a carburetor here and a kidney over there, and then they're throwing me in the oven, and then that's it.
What if they go, don't want it? And then the other guy goes, why? And go, I saw one of his shows once. It wasn't so good.
I feel like what if you die? What if I live to be, fucking old as shit? I mean, who wants an 80-year-old guy's kidney? You got to be waiting for somebody to like eat it in a car crash. Get a nice 23-year-old pancreas.
That's tasty. You know what? But I it's like, it's relative. Like I'm, for me now, a 50-year-old.
That's a cop out. That answers a cop out. That's all relative.
But if you're 90,
are you wearing loafers and no socks? Why would you say that's relative? That annoys me. I hate Canada now. I was gonna tour there. I'm now canceling it.
I think you took all the money from all the people. You took all the money for all the shows that you could do in Canada, and now you're back in the States, just counting it, making it.
Whatever I was left with. That wicked queen that runs your fucking country came by. Just took all my little pieces of gold. I walked by with like a couple of dollars that were like, I think they were painted pink. They were pink and green, just like your politics.
For you just tuning in, Bill and Bruce actually are friends. They're just playing.
Yeah, dude. I haven't seen. We live in the same city.
I live in Toronto.
Just say, Bill, I don't like you that.
No, we'd gone through a sadness. We'd gone through a professional sadness. We would have just been, I can hang out with you now, but we would just stare at each other. Why do you think the show didn't go? And then we'd talk about something, and then we go, so why do you think the show didn't go?
Yeah, and you know what that did? That gave us an opportunity to hang out with our families.
Yeah.
They're saying, why didn't the show go? But Dad, I just want to play catch. I can't right now, son. I'm still feeling bad about that failed pilot.
I'm doing something called processing. What is that?
I like to think they look back and be like, we had him. We had Bruce McCullough, Kevin Hart, and balding Bill Burr. We had it all right in the palm of our fucking hand, and we let it slip through our fingers and opened the door for Netflix. That's what I think. I think that whoever's left over there.
Oh no, that
what
person.
Is the turning point?
That person,
Viacom property,
is
saying no to Bruce McCullough.
To Kevin, to knapsack full of money.
Is this an ATC? Yes, it is. Thank you for asking. All Things Comedy, wonderful network.
Nice. That's for you who don't know, that's Bill Burr's company that encompasses what they basically do is they find young stand-ups, they make them open for Bill, and they say, no, it doesn't pay. It pays an experience. In fact,
exposure.
You should be paying us. And it's like
pays an exposure.
And then there's a table. It's like, no, that's Bill's food.
You know what's breaking my heart right now? Aside from the fact that you just refuse to hang out with me because I don't have enough credits on my IMDb page, is comedians now, young comedians are letting agents take a percentage of their advertising. It's the most insane thing ever. It's like they can't do anything. They're just going to sit there and promise them, oh, we're going to get you all this fucking money. And then they're not going to get you the money. And then they have their fucking legal foot in the door. So for the rest of time, you're going to have to pay some fucking agent. you create the whole show. You get your listeners. You fucking do everything. This isn't like at an acting gig. It just the way performers are like fucking institutionalized, and they just keep running back to the fucking penitentiary. Just it drives me up the wall.
Well, and it's actors are so horribly treated. They get paid so little. If I don't audition for things, but I usually hire people. It's like you get 2,000, submissions for every role. They treat you poorly. They make you wait on set. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. So I know being a comedian is hard. Going out and
I can't tell if you're making fun of what I just said.
No, I agree with it, and I think. But here's what it is, Bill. And I tried to teach you this the first time we worked together.
I'm just trying to have people just not be fucking paying people they don't need to be paying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying being an actor isn't a fun job. I'm just,
I don't know if it is a fun job. I think the money people.
Hey, right now it's funnier than being in the fucking edit room and having to put the whole damn thing together. I can tell you that. Just doing your little fucking soliloquy and walking off, going down the street with Kevin Hart and hanging out. That's the fucking way to do this business. Sitting there with the headphones on going, did we get it? Did we get it? And then fucking a year later, still sitting there trying to find the right music for the guy when the guy fucking slips on the banana peel. That's not something that's not fun.
No. It's the freaky world of sound, which is like all these, mostly there's women now, but mostly men just losing years of their lives moving the sound of a door up one frame. Oh, is that too wet, that sound?
Does that sound like a wooden door to you? That sounds a little metal.
Could you play it a few more times and confuse me?
Do you think that they're going to figure that out on the internet because they have nothing better to do, that was a metal door slamming instead of a wooden door? All right. Bruce, I mean, I guess if this is the way our friendship has to be now, I have to wait for you to do off-Broadway to see your beautiful face.
Well, maybe what I'll do is play gigantic arenas like you, and but I can't. I'm just playing a nice little theater because I'm actually
you're an artist because you're
of the people, Bill. I like to see their faces when I perform. You know what it
is, Bruce. If that connection's not there, then what's all that money for, man? Right?
Yeah,
I like it. You're still punk rock. Even you sit there in your little sweater.
My little sweater, yeah. Oh, I don't
Whatever.
have my scarf on. I don't have my scarf.
I like it.
Yeah, thanks.
Were you protecting your instrument?
I am.
You are. All right. I love you, Bruce. You're the best, and I would love to hang out with you.
Yes, okay. I will find.
I know you're in the Broadway club, and it's not good for your brand to be seen with me. But we'll hang way out in like the Inland Empire. So
I'll get a second key to my room, and I'll just put it in your hand.
Oh, I like that.
Then you come back to my hotel, and we'll have a drink. But you don't drink anymore, so you'll have some.
Just a couple of fellas having a drink in a hotel room, right?
Nothing untoward about that. A robe slips open. It's the wind.
You're just helping me out. You were trying to put it back. That's all that happened. It's not gay.
And I put yours back. It was a normal thing. Yeah.
And I don't fight you back because we're friends. Right? If you're a stranger, I say, hey, what are you doing? But it's Bruce. So I know that what you're doing is not sexual.
Yeah. And a few maybe months or years later, you go, oh, hey, that was a bit weird.
That was a bit weird. Want to revisit it? Just so we can confirm that it was weird? All right, Bruce McCullough, Tales of Bravery and Stupidity. Now that we got that whole background with you getting into a knife fight wearing a pink shirt, I mean, come on. October 14th through the 29th at the Soho Playhouse, live off-Broadway show, the legendary, the wonderful, the empathetic Bruce McCullough, everybody. I love you, brother. I hope to see you at some point when you're done with your run and your adulation and your Tony. Do they have an off-Broadway Tony? Is it called an Anthony?
I don't know. They probably do, but I won't.
Hey, I want a little Anthony down there in fucking Soho. Gave me two fucking. Oh, if it makes you feel better, I'm always on the internet version of whatever award show it is. They asked me if I wanted to present at the Grammys, and I was so fucking excited. I thought I was on the Grammys. And I bought like a $3,000 fucking suit, $2,000 suit, Tom Ford, and I fucking show up. I'm in the Valley on the internet. introducing the best Latino bands, and they didn't tell me how to pronounce anybody's name, and they mispronounced everything. And then all of these fucking white people, you know, who go to Taco Tuesday got all fucking upset for Latino people.
Well, maybe you should ask that agent that you give all that money to ask more questions next time you get a booking.
You know, I don't like being confrontational. This is all just an act.
I understand.
I'm wearing slippers right now. That's how
I know how sweet
that's
you
how
are.
beta
So
I am.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I pray for you in the Ukraine.
Thank you, sir.
And the Dolphins and people that want to see, you know, their face drawn on a bathroom door so they can be like, yes, I feel identified. Now I can go shit in there and have it go into the ocean.
Good luck with you and all the best for you and your act.
I like this. This is like Hallmark heckling.
It's like it's a person, right? Your act.
Yeah, I like it.
Give my best to your act.
Okay. All right, you win. You win. Bruce McCullough, everybody. Thank you so much, and break a leg on your wonderful run there from October 14th through the 29th. I will be looking for a text message on October 30th saying, Bill, I'm returning, and I would love to spend Halloween with you, playing dress up in a total heterosexual way. All right?
Thank you, Bill.
All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Bruce McCullough.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, October 13th, 2014. How's it going? How are you? What's going on? Is everything good with you? Is everything good with you? Well, yeah, you look good. Yeah, I haven't seen you for a while. What else is going on? Oh, yeah? Oh, that's good. Me? Yeah, nothing. You know, same old shit. My fucking boss, you know, he's breaking my balls. Well, I'm not going to bore you with it, dude. What do you think about the Pats? Are they for fucking real? It's like, you know, which team are they? I'm actually doing this out in my living room. That's why I have the echo out here. You know, like the old Capitol Records thing that they used to do, right? Chances are because I wear a silly hair. We got the construction workers downstairs, so if you hear some fucking banging around or whatever, that's just them finishing up the goddamn job. I always wonder what they think when I'm up here fucking singing and screaming and saying cunt. You know, they probably think I'm yelling at my wife or bitching about the job they're doing. You know? Maybe if they didn't have real jobs, they'd have time to listen to the podcast like you are right now. How dare you, in the middle of a fucking work week in the United States of America, you just sitting here listening to this shit? You know? Aren't we slipping enough? Or whatever the fuck you are around the world. Do you know, this weekend I went out and I did a show at the Spotlight 29 Casino with Let There Be Talks, Dean Del Rey of the Let There Be Talk podcast, and Joe Bartnick, Rose Bowl legend and host of the Puck Off podcast. And are the peas popping? I got to turn this fucking volume down here. Anyways, we went out there. We had a great time, but we were on our way out there, and we were on the highway. And I'm thinking, all right, there's fucking 3 of us here. We can use the carpool lane. And recently, I've been getting these tickets for riding. I don't know what, going through tolls and not paying. And I'm like, where the hell was that? And there's pictures of my car and shit, and I'm on the highway. I had no idea what it was. And I was riding out with those guys, and they finally explained what it was. They said that a private group bought up a section of the highway out here in Los Angeles, and they own it. And when you use it, you got to pay them money. You got to give them toll money and all that type of shit. And that was really scary to me. Because if they were going to do that, why wouldn't the state just do it? Why wouldn't they just say, well, fuck it, we'll just do it, and we'll collect that money? God knows we could use it, right? But instead, they sold it off to somebody. So what that says to me is this state is so fucking bankrupt, they don't even have time to just, you know, just collect money on roads that they already own. They have to sell off like a giant section of a highway. Who's that group that owns the giant section of the highway, and how the fuck do I get involved in that business? I'll parachute right out of here. I'll do like fucking a podcast 7 days a goddamn week. I'll never go on the road again. Won't tell any jokes. And you guys can just listen to me slowly slip into madness. Do you realize how that's one of the greatest investments of all time? I own a I own 5 miles of a fucking highway outside one of the most populated cities ever, where there's no public transportation for the most part. Everybody's in a car. And every time they go out through that fucking thing, ding, 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 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents. And I'm sitting here on my fucking couch, just sitting here, a bag of pretzels and a fucking Miller High Life, right? Just sitting here, 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents. It's the greatest fucking thing ever. Oh, and I know what you think, oh, dude, what about the overhead? What about it? It's already fucking made. When do you have to pave it? Once every 4 or 5 years? If that? I remember back in the day, the Mass Pike. The whole time I was there, they paved that thing one time. I don't know what it is. Whatever, man. Who gives a how much could that well, shit, that could cost a lot of money. Wait a minute. I know if you do any sort of driveway, they always come in, oh, it's going to be about 20 grand. Is it? All right, more like 3. That could get expensive. I guess that could get expensive. But, dude, I'm telling you, that is the move. If you can somehow get in with the people that are going to start buying up the fucking roads over here. And, oh, Jesus Christ. I would be such an obnoxious ass if I was making money like that. I'd start wearing wife beaters, and I'd have a fucking gold piece hanging around my neck that just said 45 cents. 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents. Right? I'd slowly just go fucking nuts thinking about it. Being like that guy, pick up the papers, pick up the papers. Hey, Bill, what do you want for lunch? Let me get a roast beef sandwich. 45 cents, 45 cents. Yeah, he's a little weird. He's a little weird. But don't worry, dude. He's fucking paying for the whole lunch. You know, he just kind of repeats himself a little bit. So whoever did that, good on you. And whoever has been in office out here in California, fuck you, you spineless cunt. All of you. How the fuck do you go bankrupt as a goddamn state? Everybody going to work every day. You want to talk about 45 cents, 45 cents. These motherfuckers are getting money from everybody. You're getting free money. Free money. Taxes. Free money. Hey, I'm going to go buy a fucking chapeau. Put it on my big, stupid, round head. All right, that'll be $8. Plus fucking, whatever. 80 cents tax. There you go. You didn't have to do a fucking thing, state government, did you? All you had to do is sit around and wait for me to go out and go buy a fucking hat. Free money. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Coming in. Big pile of fucking loot. And then you blow all of it. How do you go bankrupt as a state? Jesus fucking Christ. Unbelievable. I don't even want to hear your fucking excuses. Well, picture that little stretch of 5 Mile Hotel. I mean, of highway. I mean, you got fucking, the highway goes, from San Diego all the way up. Oh, go fuck yourself. You know what's in there? Around all those highways? A zillion fucking people, all giving you money. Every time they go out to go buy themselves, some condoms and a pair of socks, you're fucking making money. You got plenty of goddamn money. But this is what happens. All right? The fucking public servants, the people who hold office, they don't make any money. They make no fucking money. I don't know what a senator makes. I know the president makes $400,000 a fucking year, okay? So if you're governor of Los Angeles, what are you taking down a year? What, $100,000? $100,000 to have everybody in the fucking city say that you're a piece of shit, you're fucking everything up, right? You got to have security so nobody comes up and fucking shanks you every time you go out to go get a club sandwich. And not to mention it costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to campaign to get that fucking job. And in the end, all you get is $100,000. Those guys, they are set up to be bribed. I 100% believe this shit. So basically, You're going for a job that's going to get you $100,000, and you need millions and millions of dollars to fucking get the thing. So now you got to get in bed with all these fat cats that can fucking buy up the goddamn highways, and that's what they do, right? Tell you what, I'll finance you. Listen to me. Hey, fucking shut up. I'm going to fucking... What do you need? How much money do you need for this, huh? 8, 7, 9 million? What the fuck do you need, all right? Hey, 20, 40, 60, yeah, you fucking keep it, all right? But... All right, you in return, you got to give me 10 miles of the fucking 10, or the 5. Let me get the 5. All the fucking hippies driving up to San Francisco. Let me get 10 miles of that. I'm not finished. Let me get 10 miles of that, and let's make it a no-fly zone over Disneyland, whatever the fuck they want, right? Then that's what happens, or whatever. You know what? I'm going to do this job. I'm going to repay. I'm going to be the guy who fucking repaves it. I'm going to donate $2 million to your fucking campaign so you can get this job that makes $100,000 a fucking year, and maybe eventually get to the White House so you get that Marilyn Monroe side pussy, and then you get to go on the fucking golden parachute $1 million a speech fucking gig after you retire. And in the meantime, I want the contract to do this job for the state, and I'm going to charge you fucking $9 million for a hammer, as the old fucking urban legend goes, and that's how you go fucking bankrupt. There you go. Look at that. Dummy like me. That's my theory. Anyways, this is the Monday Morning Podcast, as I mentioned. That was a good 10 minutes of horse shit. Horse spelled W. Is it horse shit like you fucking hooah, or is it horse shit? And you just say them so fast it's whore. You know what? I'm going to Google that right now. Let me see. I'm going to look up horse shit. HORE. SHIT. You know, if you curse as much as I do, you should really find dictionary. Horseshit. It is a word. Shit whore, shit bitch, whoreface. Look at this. She used to horseshit. Not embarrassed at all. She's used to horseshit. Or is it horseshit? I think we can all agree it's definitely bullshit, right? Wait a minute. Girls on IRC, this is Urban Dictionary, girls on IRC, which I don't know what that is, who are desperate for attention and will latch onto any scum they find. Also gets naked on cam for attention and sends out pics of themselves committing ODD acts to their anus. Jesus Christ. You know what's funny about the fucking Urban Dictionary? Just like the Webster, in the dictionary, you got to look up like another 5 fucking words. ODD. I remember ODB. That was old dirty bastard. Old dirty dick. What? Sends out pics themselves committing to ODD acts. I feel like the white cop on Sanford and Son right now. What's going off? Also, ODD. What the fuck would that be? Other dudes' dicks? Out pictures of themselves committing other dudes' dicks acts to that. Doesn't make sense. Ah, Jesus Christ. Now I got to look this up. See what happens? This is how you lose a whole fucking day. This is why nothing is getting done in this country, because you fucking go to the Urban Dictionary as a white guy like me. Oppositional defiant disorder. Now, what the oh, Jesus Christ. You know what? I don't even give a fuck anymore. Oh, my God. He has ODD. Force drug him. It can't have anything to do with ridiculous excessive punishment as restrictions. Operational defiant disorder. Surprisingly, it's real. A fake ass disorder pulled out of their asses of a small collective of psychiatrists working for pharmaceutical companies in order to maximize revenue. Of course, there's no... You know what's funny? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. All right, I'll chalk that up to being white as fuck. Anyways... Plowing ahead here, you guys. Did you guys watch any of the football this week? Of course you did. Of course you did. You had nothing better to do, just like me. You like how I'm doing that? I'm dragging you into my own fucking world. I actually didn't watch too much of it. I was running around like a maniac. I did watch my Patriots. Don't let the final score fool you. It was a lot closer than you thought it was. I mean, we were only up by 8 with 4 minutes to go against the Buffalo Bills. This is why I can't buy into the Patriots team yet. People are like, oh, yeah, they beat the Bengals. You know, we had a close game against the Raiders. The Raiders, right? They've stunk. They've stunk. I don't know. They've stunk since they were in L.A. Who's kidding who? No, that's not true. They had the snow cone game where they lost to us because of an obscure rule. I love how Raider fans think that game was bullshit. It wasn't bullshit. The rule was bullshit. But the call was not bullshit. It was right on the money. What was bullshit was the roughing the passer call against Sugar Bear Hamilton that got the Raiders into Super Bowl 11. All right? So quit your crying. Go put on your makeup and your stupid fucking costume and go sit in the end zone and think that you're intimidating somebody. Oh, you might intimidate me. I'm in the stands. No one gives a shit about me, but you're not going to intimidate a professional football player with your goddamn outfit. When I bite into a York peppermint patty, when I look into the fucking end zone of the goddamn Raiders, right, and I see the sadness that fan base has become, I'll never get over, because I fucking love the Raiders. That is arguably the best logo in all of national football. Everybody, who the fuck hasn't tried to rip off putting some sort of black into their uniform to try to be more intimidating, or at least the amount of people who have, right? Atlanta Falcons, the old Houston Oilers. Didn't they do that? Or Jerry Glanville just went out and got a black jacket. That fucking idiot. He shouldn't have been a head coach. He should have been on like Falcon Crest. Or the Dukes of Hazzards or something like that. Who else? Everybody for a while, I can't remember. Everybody would always switch their uniforms to black because they want to be more fucking intimidating. When the Raiders were smart enough from day one, right? The silver and black, and they had a fucking pirate on the side of their helmet. They've never had to change it. Look at every fucking team out there had to change it. Had to eventually was like, all right, you know, what the fuck were we thinking in 1960 or 19 whatever? Everybody has fucked with their goddamn logo. Except for the Raiders. They never had to. They got it right out of the gate. Like that fat fuck they pull out of the stands to try to hit a half-court fucking shot, right? So he can go out and go win a fucking Dodge Opal or whatever the fuck they're giving away. Oh, my God, I can't even afford the insurance, right? Some meaty, fat, tit fucking moron goes out there. Nothing but net. That's what they did back in 1960. And sure, there's other teams that couldn't admit that they fucked up, like the Dolphins. When you really think about the Dolphins, that is probably the worst fucking name, considering the Sharks was still available. They could have been the Sharks. They could have had some badass fucking logo. I mean, if you're going to go with some sort of porpoise-type looking fish, right? What do? They pick the Dolphins. Why don't you just call yourselves the Pussies? Right? That logo should have had a fucking beach ball right on the end of its goddamn nose. So anyways, they stick with this thing for so goddamn long. They win 2 Super Bowls. They go undefeated back when you played like fucking 12 games and nobody gave a shit. There was no pressure whatsoever. Right? They went to another 2 Super Bowls, I think, in the 80s. One with Don Strock and one with Dan Marino. And after a while, you just kind of forgot that they were the Dolphins and they had that silly ass logo. And it never dawned on me again how stupid that fucking name and logo was until they changed it. They changed it, last year? I think they changed it last year. I think I already made fun of the logo. But whenever I look at that logo to me looks like it's the logo of a corporation that just had a massive fucking oil spill in the Gulf. And now they're trying to pretend like they give a shit about the environment, so they switch up their logo, you know? Kind of like BP did. They put like that fucking, looks like corn and grass is the color of their logo. Like, oh, wow, they care about us. They care about the trees. They don't. All right, how far into this fucking podcast are we at this point? 18 minutes, another fucking 9 minutes of bullshit. There we go. Well, it's time for a little bit of advertising, all right? Here we go, everybody. MeUndies. 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 Cupping my fucking balls. Ba-doop, boop, boop. MeUndies. MeUndies, my dick and balls, that's all. Not riding up my fucking crack. All right, it's unbelievable how putting on a great pair of underwear changes your entire outlook for the day. That is not a joke. Feeling that velvety, smooth material up against your privates. You know that feeling of putting on that ratty, old, saggy underwear? Oh, my God, dude, we got it. I want you to know the feeling of wearing great-fitting, great-looking underwear like Jim fucking Palmer. You need to know more about MeUndies.com. MeUndies has the most comfortable underwear you have ever tried on. They fit perfectly. They don't ride up on you. Of course they fit perfectly. There's not that much material. It's not like you're making pants. What do you got to measure the inseam of somebody's fucking taint? I've heard these are great, by the way. They fit perfectly. They don't ride up on you, and they literally pull moisture away from your from your skin, so you're cool all day long. That doesn't make any sense. You sweat to cool yourself off. Now you're pulling the moisture away. Why don't you just come out and say it, MeUndies? You're not going to have sweaty balls as long as you wear our stuff. MeUndies, MeUndies, no more sweaty balls. But here's the thing. They also make you look great. What does that mean? Do they frame your package like a strike that hits the fucking corner? Go to MeUndies.com and check out pictures of all different styles of underwear. And for girls, check out those hot-looking boy shorts. Men and women, high-quality materials for your high-quality materials. Oh, I get it. If you know what I mean. Sorry, I totally blew that. High-quality materials for your high-quality materials, if you know what I mean. The price, glad you asked, a fraction of what typically high-end designers charge. Who the hell buys designer underwear? It's like having designer fucking piping in your walls. Oh, my God, is that your initials on the pipes I can't see? Here, I'll help you out. Go to MeUndies.com/Burr, B-U-R-R. Get 20% off your first order. 20% off your order when you go to MeUndies.com/Burr. And right now, you'll even get shipping. You get free shipping in the United States and Canada. So basically, if you live in North America, north of Mexico, in Central America, geez, they're hammering down there. North of all Central America. For some reason, Central America they're not focusing on. You'd think that that's where the most sweaty balls are going to be at, right? Isn't this a sketch on fucking SNL, my sweaty balls? Basically, the United States and Canada. The highest concentration of white people with sweaty balls are in the North American area. And for years, we have walked around with a devastating condition of hot balls. Well, thank God, since MeUndies came on the scene. All right, you get it, people. All right, DraftKings, everyone. Listeners are winning huge cash prize every week. Let me start over again. DraftKings. Oh, Jesus. What in God's name could they be doing down there? I think they're putting in the fucking floors. All right, DraftKings, everyone. Listeners are winning huge cash prizes every week at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got an injured player? Not a problem at DraftKings, where it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning instant cash. Last year, one player turned $11 into $4,000. And another won $100,000 for his first time ever playing. And another player won $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football. Hurry and get free entry into the $100,000 fantasy football contest this weekend, where first place takes home $10,000. Call to action. This one's supposed to get really intense. Head over to DraftKings.com now and enter the promo code DEFENSE to play for free. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter defense for every entry now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com, that once again is DraftKings.com. Because of that man right there, Orethanal James Simpson. All right, there you go. I think that's fucking hilarious. There's a couple of things that are really... When you watch like an NFL football game, have you watched the advertising? Like how much of a fucking psycho loser they think you are? First of all, they're running that ad every 10 minutes. Don't hit women. No more. No more. She slipped on the coffee cake. No more. I was stretching and accidentally pushed her down the stairs. No more. No more. We were playing football and she tried to block a kick. She tried to block the punt. Dude, she was roughing me. You're not supposed to run into the kicker. It ain't my fault. My fucking sneaker hit her face, you know. So they got that going on. So basically, they think we're wife beaters. All right, every 5 seconds you got some sort of, your dick doesn't get hard and you're going bald. You're a balding, limp dick wife beater, right? And then they run the fucking DraftKings. You're a degenerate gambler. You're a degenerate gambling, bald, limp dick fucking wife beater. Nothing positive. That fucking No More commercial fucking annoys me because I feel like they're yelling at me and I don't hit women. So why don't you fucking tone it down a little bit? Okay? I actually tweeted this out. When you watch a WNBA game, do they start yelling at all the broads watching that shit? No more marrying a guy just because he's got money, but you don't love him. No more, I'm used to a certain lifestyle. Do they do that shit? Of course they don't. If we consider, I don't know, something fucking wrong with it. That whole No More campaign, and everybody's dressed all in black, like they're on the cover of the fucking Beatles album. My favorite part of all of it, can somebody please explain to me how they didn't do any sort of background check on Ice-T and he got in that fucking commercial? According to his albums, wasn't he a pimp at some point? I don't know much about the pimping game, but as far as I know, if you started off as a pimp, you probably made your first million smacking bitches every couple of seconds. Huh? Bitch, where's my money? Oh, I love Ice-T. Every time you fucking see that guy, he's always talking about the street. Yo, I could make $5,000 in 20 minutes. Every fucking time. I don't give a fuck what you bring up. Ice-T is going to bring up the street and how much money he could make, how quickly. Hey, Ice-T, isn't it a beautiful day out here? I'll tell you what's beautiful. When I was out on the street, I could make $5,000 in 20 minutes. Yeah, I was just kind of talking about the weather. Every fucking one of those VH1 things from 10 years ago, all those behind the musics, anything, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck what they were talking about. Ice-T eventually came on and told you that he could make $5,000 in 20 minutes when I was out on the street. The pimping game. See, the pimping game. Oh, shut up about the fucking pimping game. I hate how that whole thing is romanticized. See, when you get some runaway to go out and sell her pussy for money, there's an art to it. Is it, you fucking creep? You know what's funny? I don't even know. Was he a pimp? All those albums fucking ran together. They all came out. They were so fucking overwhelming when I first heard them. I'm sitting here, a little white boy living in the cul-de-sac, and all of a sudden Eazy-E and all these guys came out. I couldn't keep up with who was getting shot, who was getting smacked. So I might be wrong on that one, but am I the only one who was like, wait a minute. That's that guy who can make $5,000 in 20 minutes, smacking bitches out there and selling crack, right? No more. Jesus, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyways, let's get down to the football this week. So I watched the Patriots. Obviously, there was a big victory on the AFC East. The weak, limp-dicked fucking AFC East. Jesus Christ, man, what has happened to the fucking Jets? Benny and the Jets, they're fucking falling off the face of the earth. Now, what a lot of people would think, that the Patriots are going to have an easy victory come this Thursday on Thursday Night Football. And I'm here to tell you that probably won't happen. I'm actually not buying it. Because, I don't know, Jets always play us tough. All right? I'm going to sell you a bad game. The Patriots versus the Jets, Thursday Night Football. All right, I'll tell you, the Jets, they got their backs up against the wall. I wouldn't count out this Rex Ryan team. They're still bought into his system. I know they've lost 9 games in a fucking row. They're actually in it was actually a rough week for New York football, huh? Giants got the shit kicked out of them. The Eagles really that fucking good? I mean, I don't know. I just kept thinking, all right, the Giants are going to make some sort of halftime adjustment at some point, right? It was brutal, though, huh? Cruz got fucking that brutal injury. Oh, look at this shit here. I'm on the New York Post. Hard to believe radio host's excuse for mocking Cruz injury. A Philadelphia radio host added insult to injury Sunday night, mocking Giant star receivers Victor Cruz after he injured his right knee in the second half loss. How is it hard to believe that anybody in Philly does anything other than, I guess if they act like human beings, then it's actually hard to believe. Cruz, who had just dropped a fourth down pass in the end zone, tore his patellar tendon, on the play and immediately grabbed his knee. Mike Missinelli, hey, Mike fucking Missinelli, a radio host for 97.5 The Fanatic, made fun of Cruz's salsa dancing as he writhed in pain. I got to admit, that's kind of funny. Hey, Giant fans, Victor Cruz is over. Dance to that. Oh, God. Okay, wait a minute. I thought he was going to be like, ow. I thought he was going to do something like that. That would have made me laugh. As Cruz was carted off in tears, the fans in attendance at Lincoln Financial Field gave him a sincere round of applause. Oh, look at that. See, look at me. I'm saying all Eagle fans are bad. I guess they're not. And Missinelli soon backtracked, deleting the tweet and replacing it with multiple apologies. Somebody was home drunk watching the game. Hey, Giant fans, Cruz is done. Dance to that tweet. Just sitting there laughing. That's a good one. That'll get me some more listeners. And all of a sudden, all the hate starts coming in. He starts sweating all over the place except down on his balls because he's wearing MeUndies. MeUndies, no more sweaty balls. This is what he wrote. He said, I apologize for the Cruz tweet. I didn't see that he got hurt on the play, was outside the stadium and saw he dropped it, walking to my car. You lying sack of shit. He goes, I just saw on big screen outside stadium that he dropped the pass. Didn't see that he got hurt on the play. My bad. I would never have tweeted that had I known he got injured. Please know that. Now what? You're full of dude. Victor Cruz is over. Right there. That means you know he got hurt. Ah, Jesus. You know what? This guy doesn't need MeUndies. MeUndies, no more sweaty balls, because he doesn't have any balls. Just say, listen, I was at the game. I got fucking hammered. And I made a joke that a lot of people made. I was actually in a cigar bar last night watching the game, and somebody made that joke. And people laughed, and it was more like, oh, you know. But, you know, what the fuck? You're going to sit there, boo, every time you score a touchdown. The joke's just laying there, waiting for somebody to say it. You combine that with some alcohol, and you combine that he's in Philly, so he's got to be at least 3/4 of a fucking animal. Animal? My voice is cracking. I actually had a great time. I went to this awesome cigar bar last night, and I watched the Giants-Eagles game. Even though the game was just fucking, was so one-sided. It was just a wire ass-kicking. And we actually was sitting there, and Jesus Christ, they're hammering right underneath me. This is what it's been, people, for the last fucking 6 months. I know what you're thinking. 6 months, Jesus, Bill, what are they, rebuilding the whole downstairs? Yes. Yes, they are. And now they're going to put in the hardwood floors, and then they found out the floor wasn't level. And the guy fucking goes, hey, Bill, was this downstairs area ever outside? Yeah, it was. Let me guess. It used to be some sort of half-ass porch, so they had it raked, you know, at a nice fucking, 15-degree angle, so the water would roll off it. Now it's inside. Whatever. When you're downstairs in my house, you just feel like you're on a boat that's making a left turn or a right turn, depending on which way you're walking. I don't give a fuck. No, it's not that bad. I never even noticed, to be honest with you. But, he went down there with a level, and that little ball just kind of rolled a little bit to the side. I don't give a fuck. I give a fuck, but I don't have any more money. I don't have any more money to throw at that, okay? I'm cutting you off. All right, son? It's over. You got to get out in the world and get a fucking job. So anyways, went out there with a couple of buddies, smoked a couple of cigars, and was watching the game. It was just a wire-to-wire fucking beatdown. And I don't know. I was disappointed in the game. I was impressed, obviously, with Philly. I know the Giants started off rough. They've been playing better. But still, I didn't think it was going to go like that. And I've always loved the NFC East. It's always just been, it's always been great football, always great rivalries and that type of thing. It sucked that the Redskins have not been a factor for so long, because those Cowboy-Redskins games were always great when I was growing up. But I guess there's always one team that's going to suck in your division. Somebody's got to come in last. It's just been them for a while, for whatever reason. All right, is that all I had to say on football? I honestly didn't watch a lot. I would have to think that they're fucking calling for Rex Ryan's head at this point. Or are they still sticking with him? They still sticking with the guy? I'm actually going to be upset if he gets fired, because I love watching him lose. You know? And if they fire him, I don't get to do that anymore. All right, here we go. What do we got here? Spit it out, Bill. New York Post Sports. All right. Kevin Durant hurt his foot. The Yankees' A-Rod mysteries are much deeper than you think. Oh, A-Rod, my favorite Yankee of all time. The $200 million albatross. Let's see. Gronk swagger returning to the Patriots. I guess he made a quote, they should get laid. What the fuck? Jets, pick 6, ending a gambling miracle for Broncos backers. Yeah, I don't see them saying get rid of Rex Ryan yet. Well, it's very surprising for the New York Post. They usually got the sky is falling after 2 fucking days. All right, I got to look at this story here. Sorry, guys, you just listen to me read the newspaper this week. Gronk swagger to the Patriots. They should get laid. Rob Gronkowski is always looking out for his teammates. Following New England's decisive 37-22 win. I love how it was decisive. We were up by 8 with 4 minutes to go. Somebody didn't watch the game. You just looked at the final score. 37-22 win over the Bills on Sunday. The Patriots tight end wanted to give credit to the often overlooked offensive line. He goes, they're the ones who should get laid tonight, Gronkowski said. That's very nice of him. See, that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. All right, enough with the friggin' football. How about the baseball? How about the baseball? Boo. You guys been watching that shit? I've been watching the Royals. I haven't watched the Giants Cardinals. I saw the Cardinals had a walk-off last night, which is awesome. But hang on a second. Where the fuck did that story go? God damn it. The New York Post actually had a fucking great story about some nurse, because I don't want to have this all be sports and listen to you guys fucking whining at me. How much you do for the people who don't like sports? All right, nurse, here's one for you. For people who aren't into sports, nurse accused of killing 38 patients she found annoying. Cops arrested a nurse in northeast Italy. Hey, how you doing? In connection with deaths of as many as 38 patients whom she may have killed because she found them or their relatives annoying. Wow. Daniela Poggiali, a 42-year-old resident from the town of Lugo, was taken into custody over the weekend and booked for the alleged slaying of a 78-year-old patient, Rosa Calderoni, who died from an injection of potassium. Calderoni had been admitted to the hospital with a routine illness before she died unexpectedly. Tests show she died with a high amount of potassium, which can provoke cardiac arrest in her bloodstream, according to Central European News. Her death triggered an investigation which found that 38 others had died mysteriously while Poggiali was on duty, the news agency reported. One of Poggiali's fellow nurses described her as a cold person but always eager to work. Wow. Another one of Poggiali's colleagues said that the accused nurse was once reported for giving powerful laxative to patients at the end of her shift to make work tougher for the nurses working after her. filed under crime, Italy. Jesus Christ. Now, there's a person who never got hugged as a child, huh? What a fucking... I shouldn't say that, man. You know, because she hasn't been convicted of anything. Why do they do that? Why do they protect the alleged victim but not the alleged accused? I saw something last night that was saying that this person out here attacked a 68-year-old woman with like a broomstick or something outside of a fucking ATM. And so then they show this guy's face, right? And they just random fucking name. They're like, they show the guy's face on TV, his mugshot, and they go, and that is when Scott Walker, allegedly, took a broomstick and smashed a 68-year-old woman over the head with it at an ATM. It's like, allegedly. You don't even know if you got the right fucking guy. This guy's face is all over the fucking news. Why do we have to see somebody's face before they're convicted? I don't understand that. Like, you know, how do you fucking make a comeback from that? Hey, aren't you the guy who got accused fucking... what is the word? Accused assaulter of a 68-year-old woman. Like, how do you get a fucking job after that? Anyways, with the amount of times that they get the wrong person, don't you think that they should maybe hold off on showing the photo? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody at all? Does anybody give a shit on any level whatsoever? Where the hell's the recorder? Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me I knocked it off. Ah, fuck. Okay, good. I thought for half a second I shut it off. I'm actually late today because old Billy Boy's got a day job. Old Billy Boy's got a day job writing a fucking show that I can't wait for you guys to see, but I'm not allowed to talk about it until they announce it. Once they announce it, I'll give you a little bit of hype on it. I think you're going to enjoy it. That's all I can fucking say. Hey, I want to thank everybody who came out to the Spotlight 29 Casino to see Dean Del Rey, Joe Bartnick, and myself. We had a wonderful time out there. I got to do more stand-up, though, man. I really miss doing it. I've been writing this fucking show and kind of burning it at both ends. So I got to figure that out. But I'm basically straight out writing this thing until Thanksgiving. And then my schedule eases up a little bit more. I do have coming up, I got some great gigs coming up. I'm doing the 20th anniversary of Comics Come Home, the great thing that, the great benefit foundation, whatever the hell you call it, that Dennis Leary and Cam Neely started 20 years ago for the Cam Neely house, which basically when, unfortunately, I think Cam lost both of his parents. I know at least one of his parents he lost to cancer, and you know, they were in like the hospital and that type of thing. So they've made up the Cam Neely house. And so it's just a place like during treatment where people can, rather than sitting in a hospital, can actually feel at home. It's a great thing. And it's 20 years. I can't believe that because I did either Comics Come Home 2 or 3 way back in 1996. So I don't know if they were 94, 95, 96. That was number 3. If this is the 20th one, is this the 20th 20 years or the 20th one? You know what I mean? Like he played 19 years, 20 seasons. Like I can't figure it out, but whatever. This is either the 20th or the 20th year that they've been doing it. And I'm going to be up there and it's going to be an absolute murderer's row of stand-up comedians on that thing. And one of them who I can't wait to see is going to be Stephen Wright, who is arguably one of the best comedians I've ever seen. I mean, he is. There's no argument there. He just is. I can't wait to see him. And it's going to be awesome. So I got that going on. And then the next day, I'm going to be at Giggles Comedy Club in Saugus on like November 9th doing a benefit up there. And then the following week, I'm out in Florida. And on, what is that? I don't even know what the fucking date is. Why don't I look here? Hamana. In November, I'm going out for Thursday Night Football when the Dolphins play the Bills, and I'm going to the Thursday night game, and then the next night I am in. Can you tell I'm trying to open windows? That's why I'm fucking talking slower. I'm at the West Palm Beach Improv in West Palm Beach, Florida, and doing a couple shows there. Me, Paul Verzi, and then the next day I'm going to the Miami Hurricane Florida Seminole game. Unfortunately, it's where the Miami Hurricanes play, so I don't have to listen too much of that. Fortunately, I won't have to do that. The amount of people who do that and actually think that that's, like Native Americans actually used to do that. Like that's actually one of their songs rather than it was just some horse shit that Hollywood made up. That and going, woo, all that bullshit. You know what's so fucking crazy is how that stuck around for this goddamn long. The people came up with that shit. Do you understand that they came up with that shit when people didn't even know how to act yet? At least on film or whatever like that. That was like 30 years before Why I Oughta. Let me tell you something, see? All of that stupid fucking horrible acting before Marlon Brando came around and changed the game. What's up, Cleo? What are you doing? Come here, buddy. Come here. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. You taking a nap? Yeah, that was rough, wasn't it? Going to the side of the house, relieving yourself, and then eating a whole fucking can of dog food. You must be exhausted. I can really see why you have to go there and take another nap. Huh? What do you do all day? Nothing. Why are you always sleeping? I want an answer. Nothing. Microphone right in her muzzle. I get nothing. All right, get out of here. All right? Okay, go on. Fucking love that dog. Fucking love that dog, man. I will never not have a dog. In fact, this one here, if we got another dog, would probably try to kill it unless it was a baby boy, from what I heard. So I don't need that drama in my house. My dog's a psycho because somebody beat the shit out of it before I got it. So I'm going to keep this dog, and hopefully, God willing, how old is she? 5, 6 years? I don't want to think about this. However long she lasts. And but then the next round, I'm getting 2. I'm going to need a blue nose and a red nose pitty, couple of puppies. And that's it. I'm always going to have fucking dogs. They just make your life better. They really do. So anyways, hey, listen to this. Oh, Billy fucking Boozebag is 7 days sober. 8 days. I haven't drank in 8 days. It's fucking great. Now I'm ready to go on a fucking run. That's all it takes. For those of you guys trying to knock off the booze, unless you're like a serious fucking alcoholic, which fortunately I don't suffer from that, it takes like 5 days for me is the tipping point. If I'm like 3-4 days in, I'm like, this doesn't seem like a streak. You know what I mean? I'm not playing tonight, I'm going to sit back and fucking drink a beer, But then once you get, 5-6 days in, I got a nice little run going here. Little Cal Ripken Jr. going on here, right? Want to see how long I can go. Blah, 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 blah. And I went to the store and I got a bunch of those little fucking plastic tins of a bunch of veggie shit. And I just shoved that down my pie hole. And now I got my body craving that again. I swear to God, man. I swear to God. The amount of people who are fucking addicted to sugar and salt has to be off the charts. But I might be doing that thing where I'm taking my life and superimposing it on everybody else's. You know what I mean? Like, well, if I suffer from this, then you must suffer from it. But I'm telling you, all I have to do is wake up in the morning, ba-doo, ba-da-boop, and I eat just oatmeal with a fucking banana in it. That fills me up. And then if I go and I get a salad with a fucking protein for lunch, it's over. Then that's all it takes to kind of break that sugar salt, fucking horseshit going back and forth. Pizza, cookies, ice cream, fucking burger, fries. Then you feel it. You feel yourself going off the rails, all fucking hyped up on the salt. I got to get some sugar. I got to fucking level. Yeah, you do a line of fucking sugar that levels you out. Then you wake up the next day and both of them are still fighting inside your body and you wake up. What do you get? Do you get oatmeal? No, you grab the Fruit Loops. You grab the Fruit Loops, then you're walking out the door all hopped up on sugar. You take a handful of, you fucking literally empty out all the pretzels and just drink the salt at the bottom of the bag just so you can get to fucking work. You know, and then you just keep chasing it. So I actually talked to somebody on Twitter, actually sent me a little tweet saying that they started eating like the salads and everything, and they started craving that stuff, and they dropped like 20 pounds. You know, obviously I'm no nutritional or fitness fucking guru, but I can't tell you if you just start eating that way, it's impossible. Who likes going to the fucking gym? Nobody. What would you rather do? Would you rather spend 45 fucking minutes on a treadmill or just sit down and over the course of 5 minutes just eat a salad? You know, with some fucking, chicken breast on there or some salmon. You know, or maybe you just go like a total veggie one with some beans in there. It's fucking over. Wouldn't you rather do that than eating the shit you want to eat and then jumping on a treadmill, wearing out your hips, your knees, and your feet, fucking trying to run? I'm going to run 1 mile. I'm going to walk the next mile. Just eat a fucking salad. Put your feet up. Eat a salad. Last night when I watched the game, I actually was sitting in a cigar bar, so I'm killing myself that way. But as far as food goes, I actually, what did I get? I ordered this beets and goat cheese salad, which back in the day, I would be like, you fucking pussy, right? I threw that thing down my throat, filled me up. I wasn't hungry, and I woke up today, and, my alabaster stomach wasn't sticking out as far as I thought it was going to be. It made me happy. I woke up this morning happy seeing that, and what did I do? Did I have to lift a bunch of weights? Did I have to run up and down the fucking street? Did I have to do a bunch of burpees standing in the sand next to some fucking tanned-up chick who's never going to fuck me? No, I didn't. I just sat in a fucking lazy boy and fueled my body with the goddamn salad. Can't recommend it enough. Having said all that, I don't know shit about nutrition, but I do know if you get a fucking beaten goat cheese salad with a little caramelized fucking pecans in there, it's absolutely delicious. I highly recommend it. I don't want you guys walking around fucking being fat fucks. Who wants to be a fat fuck? You there in the back. You want to be a fat fuck? Well, good for you. All right, let's get to the other advertisement. Then I'm going to read some of these letters for the week. All right, Stamps.com, everybody. You know that feeling you get when you can't get things done with just the click of your mouse? Oh, no, I read that turn around. You know that feeling you get when you can get things done with just the click of your mouse. It can't get more convenient than that. See that? I swear to God, my eyes are like 20 feet ahead of my mouth. So I went by the first can, and then I read the can. All right. Let me just put it in my own words. You know that feeling you get when you got your feet up and you got a bunch of stuff to do, but you don't even have to get off your ass? You just click a mouse. Wouldn't that be great? Well, with Stamps.com, that could be yours. And now you can even get your mailing and shipping done without ever leaving your desk, thanks to Stamps.com. Yet another reason to eat a salad. You don't have to get up to go to the post office anymore. Stamps.com turns your PC or Mac into your own personal post office that never closes, that never has an attitude, that's never out of stamps. Talk about convenient. This is my fucking contractor. I swear to God, this motherfucker. Hang on a second. All right, false alarm. Wasn't the contractor. And he's not a fucking contractor. He's just a guy who comes up to me and I owe a bunch more money. Hey, did you notice that the roof isn't attached to the top of the house? All right, let's get back to it here. You can buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your computer and printer. Then just hand your mail to the mailman or drop it in the mailbox. And you'll never have to go to the post office again. I use Stamps.com to send out all of my posters, T-shirts, whatever crap I'm selling at the end of the end of my stupid show. Right now, use my last name, Burr, B-U-R-R, for this special offer, no-risk trial, plus a $110 bonus offer that includes a digital scale, calculates exact postage for letters and packages, and up to $55 free postage. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Burr, B-U-R-R. That's Stamps.com. Enter Burr. All right, let's get to the questions for this week. All right, Japan. Dear Billy, I'm wondering when you're going to come to Japan and if there's a reason you have not. You have spoken about the food many times as being your favorite along with Italian. The countryside is beautiful, so you could get in a good hike. Love you and love Nia. Well, you know what, sir? You tell me where I can go perform over there. Are there enough English-speaking Japanese that are going to understand my humor? Because I would love to go to Tokyo. I would love to go to Japan. You know what? I'm going to fucking make this happen. That's it. I'm going. You tell me where to go. You write me back. You tell me where to go. I know that there's obviously, we still have bases over there from that whole World War II thing. Sorry about that, by the way. You know, I know we went a little hardcore with the second one. So it's about time I come over there with a little fucking olive branch and do my stupid, my stupid little fucking tricks there. Little somersault here, a little punchline there. Dude, I would absolutely love to go over there. Obviously, huge fan of the food, huge fan of the fucking architecture and everything that I've seen over there, both the old and the new. That whole thing where you fucking beat all those dolphins to death. I don't know about that shit, but I'm sure you're not doing it. Whatever, look at that. Already, we got some comedy there. I don't know shit about your country. There, I said it. But I want to go. I've never been to Asia. I'd love to go over there. I'd love to go to Japan, see the Great Wall and all of that shit. I'm kidding. I know that that's in China. All right, let's not get crazy. This is what I know about Asia, okay? As far as I know, the Japanese are basically the white people of Asia in that they feel that they are the most superior. And over the course of the centuries, they have tried to impose their will on the other people around them. Is that true? Why would I say this about the country that wants me to go there? Because I'm a fucking moron. Then you got Korea. You got North Korea, you got South Korea. North Korea has that one of the rarest things you'll ever see in the world, which is an out-of-shape Asian guy running their country. Okay? The North Koreans. So all the North Korean people are starving, and this guy is walking around as basically a fat-faced tub of shit. And this is what kills me about this guy. Okay, if you're going to be a dictator, you got to feed you. If you want it to last. I guess his dad was able to starve everybody. Dude, if I was a dictator, I would be such a good shit, no one would try to take me over. I wouldn't be out there raping and pillaging. I would run it nice. It would be all my fucking rules, but I would be a nice guy about it. When people go, we're kind of getting sick of that, I'd be like, I can see that. I can see that. Not because I really see it, just because I don't want you guys to eventually come and make an attempt on my life. So, what would you like? See, I don't have the backbone to be a dictator. Then you got China. You got a zillion fucking people, which isn't that kind of Japan's fault because they kept invading them? So then they were like, we're going to have so many fucking people that no matter how many of us you kill, there's going to be another wave coming over. And now look at them. Goddamn air over there is like brown. What else do I know? Do I know anything positive? Do I know anything positive? Yeah, I know something positive. All the martial arts come from there. You got yoga, came up from fucking India. But I know you guys had a wonderful life until the English got there and fucked everything up. Which is pretty much, that's the default answer around the world. Yeah, everything was going great, and then the English people came there and said, all right, these people here are a little bit better than those people there, a little bit better than those people there, and we're running shit, and go fuck yourself, settle in for the next 100 years, and then you'll force us out, then we're going to leave, and you guys can continue fighting this fight that we created that never really existed because you're really all the same people who should love one another and get along. Right? Anyways, Beatles album. Bill. Dear Billy 100.7 FM, a buddy of mine recently got in an argument over which has Beatles album. Do you guys even reread what the fuck he wrote? A buddy of mine recently got in an argument over which Beatles album is probably your favorite. Real intellectual stuff going on over here. He's making fun of himself. I'm saying it's Let It Be or the White Album. He says it's Rubber Soul. Oh, come on, man. How do you pick a favorite Beatles album? I mean, I definitely like their shit after, they weren't clean cut, just singing like, we're shaking up, baby, now. I hate that shit. She loves you, yeah, yeah. Hate that shit. But when they grew out their hair and started doing drugs, I love all of that shit. But it's been so long since I've listened to them, I'll have to get back to you on that one. What's amazing about Beatles music is is the shit that they talk about. It's still fucking timeless. What's that one song? I'm looking through you. Where did you go? I thought I knew you. What did I know? You don't look different, but things have changed. I'm looking through you. You're not the same, right? That's just classic when you're in a fucking relationship when you're young and you think you're really into this person, and just one day, the way they answer the phone, hi, they just do something, you just like, ugh. And you're just like, this isn't, you think they changed. It's just, you're just learning more about the person, and you're realizing like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Kind of like my house. So I like that one. I also obviously like the White Album. I love Let It Be. I mean, Sgt. Pepper, man, come on. And then you got Revolver. I like all of those. You know what's funny is it's been so long since those albums come out that there's a lot of young people that think the Beatles actually are overrated or they stink. And that's just because all that fucking music has come out since then. It completely ripped them off. It's kind of like the Richard Pryor thing, where how fucking brilliant he was, and then after like the 5th or 6th season of Def Jam comedy, where everybody was doing those white people do this, black people do that shit, and it turned in from Richard Pryor's specific white guy that he was doing to just that generic, I gotta go do my taxes. It just kind of took away some of the shit that he was doing. The only way to try to, because there's no way to go back in time, the only way to try to like get yourself in that headspace, look at like a top 20 out, top 100, and see what else was in the top 10, and listen to that shit versus the Beatles album. I guess that's the closest thing I would say. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, all right, Bill, I'm a female and I love your comedy. Oh my God. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Well, I'm going to be cliche and start by telling you what a huge fan I am. But thank you. Thank you so much. I have so many female friends that they are the epitome of what you say about them. No day off for their man or constantly want to fix or change them. I've always been pretty mellow, and from what my husband says, I am a dude trapped in a girl's body. I'm sure he might be exaggerating a bit, but it makes me smile to know he thinks that I'm cool. Oh, yeah, that's one of the best compliments you can get. If your boyfriend or husband or whatever thinks you're cool, and I know I'm not trying to be a fucking sexist cunt here, like, oh, you should be, oh, wow, oh, I'm so flattered that you fucking gave me that compliment. All right, don't get your tits in an uproar here. I'm just saying, if the guy in your life actually, if you're fun to hang out with, that's a very rare thing, because usually we're trying to get away from you. Anyways, she says, I'm rambling. Now you know for sure I'm a woman. She goes, I saw this quote from a movie and wanted to share it with you. Do not try to change him. That's why so many marriages fail. Before he removes the wedding veil, the wife starts to change the husband's happiness, his thoughts, his friends, and when she's brainwashed him and remothered him completely, she wonders what happened to the man that fascinated her, the one she fell in love with. Just thought you would enjoy that. And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to see you live. You were on our bucket list. Joking. Thanks for your time. Faithful fan. Note, these two emails deal with the same situation. Might want to read both together and give one answer. Oh, that's from my guy here. All right. Well, I'll read them both together then. How to change gears with a lady. Hey, Bill, I've been away from home for 9 months, and whenever I get a little blue, missing friends and family from back home, I just toss on your God, enough with the compliments. No one. I appreciate them, but people just want to hear the question here. I was hoping you could give me some advice. I'm living in a little house in Indonesia with a lady who I've been best friends with for 6 years. We're staying here for the next month. I hadn't seen this girl in over a year before we met up a few days ago. Problem is, in the last couple of days, I've totally fallen for her. Oh, Jesus. I'm not sure why. I never felt this way about her until now. Probably because you're in fucking Indonesia. You know? That's probably in the middle of fucking nowhere, and this is your only option. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. We've always made each other laugh and always loved the same things, but we never... Oh, my God. What am I going to do here? I'm just going to let it ring. Who answers their home phone anymore? Hi, my name's Burt Lunderquist, and I'm running for fucking state whatever the fuck it is. We've always made each other laugh and always loved the same things, but we just never went beyond a friendship. Now I'm really jealous when I see her around other guys. So here's my big idea. I was thinking about asking her out on a date. Why don't I have the default ringer at like 2 rings? Because I never do anything to make my life easy. One more. And that should be it. Dude, you cunt. All right. Anyway, he goes, I know it's weird because we're sharing a house and we know each other so well. But I thought it would be better to just say, do you want to go on a date with me? And then offer to take her out for dinner. Are you fucking serious? And to see a band. Oh my God, who is on the other end that isn't hanging up yet? I'm going to pick that up and it's going to go 7 days. I'm not picking up. Thank Christ. All right. We know each other so well, but I thought it would be better to just say, do you want to go on a date with me? And then offer to take her out for dinner and to see a band like I would if this was someone I just met, rather than make some heavy confession about my feelings. That way, it's more of a fun thing. That's more of a fun thing we could try rather than some big serious decision she has to make. I thought if she was a bit reluctant, I might try saying that our friendship is strong enough to survive one bad date. Dude, I think you're killing it right now. I would have never thought to do that. I would have been like, tell her how you feel. No, fuck that. I like what you're doing. I like it way better. So am I a moron for thinking this? Absolutely not. Is this just going to make our month together in this place awkward and potentially ruin the trip? Should I just keep my mouth shut and try to enjoy the fact that this amazing woman is my friend? Thanks in advance, Bill. You're one of a kind. I know that I'm trying to ask. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, I think you should do exactly what you want to do. Who knows? Maybe these feelings are real. Maybe they're not. And, you wouldn't be a man if you didn't ruin a friendship with your dick. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Now, I don't know how that tied into the one above here, but I think you're killing it. But as far as that quote that woman said, yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that, but I also think guys do the same thing. Guys do the same. You know what also happens, I think, in a relationship is you get so comfortable, you forget to keep yourself looking good around each other. You know what I mean? Is there anything fucking worse than when you're in a relationship and your girlfriend is just comfortable coming out just dressed like shit? And I'm not saying that she always has to get fucking dolled up, but it's the end of the night. We're gonna go watch a fucking movie. How long does it take to put on some fucking cute little pajama, fucking half little hoary halter top kind of thing? You can't do that. It takes 2 seconds. Put your hair in a fucking ponytail. Bing, bang, boom. You come out. You make me feel like, oh, yeah, all right. I made a good choice here. You come out and you're fucking, in that goddamn fat suit, whatever the fuck, that sweatpants and hoodie. Toes all fucked up. I mean, it's awful. And then the same thing goes for the guys. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you get a woman, you start eating fucking mozzarella sticks and all that shit. You're coming out there with your wife beater and your man tits hanging out the fucking side like John Bonham towards the end of his career. That awful fucking picture when he's sitting down. This is a critical thing. When you're fat standing up too, all right, the last thing you need to do is fucking sit down with a wife beater on, because then it's just the rolls. So they don't want to see that either. That's the thing as a guy, man. You got, keep yourself in good shape. Shower and all that type of shit. Just try to keep doing that throughout the fucking relationship. Coming out all fucking scruffy and bleary-eyed. Working on a pair of man tits. Women don't want to look at that. Same way we don't want to look at them looking all fucked up. So there you go. Don't take the person you're with for granted. All right? Look at me, just telling everybody what the fuck to do. All right, last one I got to do, and then I got to go to work. All right. Hey, contraceptive pill Bill. I'm coming to the end of my high school life with just a few weeks to go, and there's one girl I've been waiting to ask out for a while. Well, don't wait any longer. She's hot, smart, funny, witty, you fucking get it. But she's in a different social group to me, and I just know how I just don't know how I should go about asking her out, since we spent most of the past 2 years taking the same classes, yet I've barely talked to her. How would you go about talking to this girl that you have spent a lot of time around you? You both know each other, but you kept clear of. I feel like if I don't make a move, I'll regret not doing it for the rest of my life, since she seems like she would be an ideal girlfriend. A response would be great. Love the podcast. Go fuck yourself and get your alabaster ass down to Australia soon, please. All right, dude. What we should do, you should just go fucking ask her out. Because here's the thing. Nothing bad will come of that. Okay? You won't have regret. You'll fucking get over a fear, which will help you further down the line. And even if this woman says no now, who knows? 4 or 5 years later, you run into her and she remembered that you liked her. You already broke down that fucking door. You might bang her or go out with her and fall in love with her after your 50th fucking high school reunion. So this is what you do. This is what I wish I did. This is what you do right here. Fucking ask her out. She says no. Just ask a bunch of them out. Fucking lay the groundwork. You're like a salesman. You're making pussy cold calls here right now for the rest of your high school career. And then you hit every fucking reunion. And you show up with a goddamn, you have some sunglasses and a fucking white scarf wrapped around your fucking neck like a hero. And I'm telling you, you'll be fucking pulling pussy out of there like those fucking Japanese guys clubbing those fucking dolphins to death. It's a bad reference, but you know what I mean. That's what you should do. You should absolutely 100% ask her out or whatever. Just come walking up to her. Hey, how you doing? She knows your fucking name. She'll say hello back. And just say, hey, listen, I've kind of been staring at your tits the last couple of years. Don't say that. Whatever. Just ask her out. Just fucking ask her out. Nothing bad will come. Even if she says no, she might say to her friends, yeah, I can believe who asked me out. So-and-so asked you out. And one of them's going to respect it and be like, I didn't know he had that in him. Maybe one of them gets a little insecure. What? He doesn't like my rack and fucking hoo-ha. And next thing you know, you got that coming down the pike. Okay? You got to get on the phone. You got to make your calls in the morning, or you don't get any sales at night. All right? That's the fucking That's the podcast for this week, everybody. Go fuck yourselves. My prediction for the Patriots-Jets. If it's at the Patriots, I say we win. If it's at the Jets, I don't know. But I think it's going to be a close game, despite the fact that the Jets allegedly suck and all of this shit. This is the classic game where gamblers fall into just looking at the numbers and looking at the records and all of that shit. And what you have to understand is every week, what blows up your parlay? There's always that game where something happened. It makes no fucking sense. All right? The old chaos theory, like Jurassic fucking Park there. The Jets always play us tough. If we go in there and we kick the shit out of them, then they truly are a tough fucking team. I don't know. I don't have faith in the Patriots. I just feel like Tom Brady's been on his back the whole. Even yesterday, man, that guy was on his fucking back more than I've seen. He's been on his back more this fucking season than I've seen in his goddamn career. I still think we're working that out. And Ridley went down, and Mayo went down, and I don't think obviously they're going to be back for the Thursday game. I haven't looked at the sports page yet to see how bad it is. So. That's a huge blow to our defense and our running game. So we got a lot closer to the fucking Jets. All right? Take that with a grain.